Step by step, getting closer to the finish. About to cop an apron from an upstart apprentice. Used to work at Puma, it's the color of Kahlua. Tonight I'm cooking dinner, quinoa and seared tuna. Line is sorta poppin', fella said he had the Asics. Gel Light 3, Ronnie Feig, round laces. Talk about these pine green.
Hey, so yeah, I'm back.
Hey! Hey! How y'all doing?
I know you all requested more videos picking apart the dynamics of the bear, since that's my most viewed video, but making these takes like forever, and I got kind of sidetracked with my other channel and personal life. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about all of the reasons why Claire is completely incompatible with Carmen, besides the fact that she's annoying as hell. Let's start off strong. Number one.
She just wants to run away. She wants to leave that.
Jay, you can't repeat the past.
Can't repeat the past.
This is titled, It's the Past. I'm a firm believer that the second chance romance only works when the person being given a second chance, aka Carmy, has made a 180 and changed completely, which he didn't. And if you want to know more about that, watch my first video I made about the bear. Carmy's most anxiety-riddled time was when he was on the rise working in Olivia Colman's kitchen.
Moving.
Yeah, that happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I've heard your restaurant is wonderful.
Oh.
Under the most abusive chef known to man.
Why do you hire fucking idiots? Do you like working with fucking idiots? I'll do better.
And before that, when Carmen knew Claire in high school, he was a shy young boy who drew in his notebook and only found strength in his older brother being by his side.
Just listen. We're trying to tell you we ran into the love of your fucking life.
Dude, I don't have a love of my life.
Just fucking tell Claire Bear. Claire Bear! Claire Bear, bro. We saw Claire Bear!
Then, and now, Carmen's mental issues are very prevalent in the show. So you can't really have a second chance at the girl if you're virtually the same person you were back then. Carmy has experienced growth, only in his shyness slightly going away, and his major growth in his career as a chef. Other than that, he's the same boy who never went after the girl he liked at school. Carmy never expected to have a chance with Claire, and unbeknownst to his peers, he doesn't have the same feelings he once had for her. A lot of their relationship was Carmy convincing himself that he should date Claire because she's who he always wanted. She presents herself as the perfect girl, a manic pixie dream girl, and he believes himself lucky that any woman is interested in him. In Carmen's mind, he's fucked up. He's unlovable, and there's no room in Carmy's brain to love someone in that way. Carmy can barely be present for his own family and give others his platonic love. Something I don't think enough fans point out is that the only reason Carmy is in his sister's life is because she works for him. Otherwise, he wouldn't call or come around or make any effort to be close with those who love him. Carmy is stranded at sea, a lost soul, and Claire is just a ghost from his past that he forced himself to care about again, in an effort to have something normal. In Carmy's words, something good.
Monsieur le chiffre.
Number 2. This is titled, Claire Forced Carmy's Hand. If we circle back to Carmy's reintroduction to Claire at the supermarket.
Wow. That sounds, intense.
It isn't chill.
Right.
She pushed for the first date. Let me just recap their interaction. Carmy's shopping for food, Claire sees him and she goes, Carmy? And it takes him a second to remember who she is. That's the anxiety brain fog in action. He actually hesitates to remember her, which is a huge indicator that she's not an integral part of his adult life. Then they have some chit-chat, small talk, and Claire claims that she knows the name of Carmy's restaurant. And they have this weird back and forth that's supposed to be cute, but it's really not, and she says, because you're the bear, and I remember you, or some crap like that.
$1 million that you don't know the name.
Prepare to be out of $1 million, dude.
How could you remember the name?
Because you're the bear, and I remember you.
And then she asks for his number and he gives her a fake one. You may be wondering, why would Carmy give his high school crush a fake number? This is your chance, bro. But if you're a female, you know that when you give a guy a fake number, it means you're not interested and you don't want to hear back from them. And the exact same logic applies to men. Also, a huge hint that Carmy isn't truly interested in investing his time in a relationship with Claire is that he didn't ask for her number. But anyway, fast forward, Claire calls Carmy on his real number because Fat gave gave it to her, which means this girl called him using the fake number, realized he gave her a fake number, and still, search for his actual number. I mean, talk about a stalker. So Carmy feels awkward and kind of cornered, and they end up going on a date. They go to some party that just feels like a bunch of 30-year-olds trying to act like they're in college, and they have a driving date and go to the post office. I don't really remember. Their dates were dumb as hell. I'm not even going to get into the lack of chemistry because there's no point. I could spend hours talking about that.
You could do this without me.
I couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, you could.
I wouldn't even want to do it without you.
The point of this section is that Claire essentially forced Carmy's hand. She pressured him into a date, and he folded and jumped into something he wasn't mentally ready for. It's not necessarily a critique on Claire because she obviously didn't do anything wrong, but rather it's to say that Carmy and her shouldn't be together if he didn't really want her in the first place.
I think you're ready, pal.
For what?
To talk to a pretty lady and take her home and show her your gift.
No, I'm not.
You're as ready as you're ever going to be.
Number 3, people are pushing. The characters in the show that are most involved in Carmy's life heavily meddled and pressured him into pursuing and dating Claire. Mainly Fack and his dumb cousin or brother or whoever that is. They quite literally went to Claire's place of work just to convince her to give Carmen another chance after he broke up with her. Although honestly, he didn't really explicitly break up with Claire, it was just implied when she heard a stream of consciousness accidentally. Anyways, this invasion and blatant disrespect for your close friends' breakup and lack of respect for someone's time at their job is insane.
Strong shoulders, and he has strong arms, and I think that like he could hug you a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. That was good.
That was strong.
I can't do this here, but I love you guys so much.
Also, I believe Carmy's uncle also called him out for the blow-up of his relationship and possibly even Richie. The only person who never really thought he was an asshole for ruining things with Claire was Sydney, aka why they should be together, but I have a whole video on them. When people around you get too self-involved in your relationship, it can tend to cause problems. I don't really think that Claire and Carmy had the proper time to explore and develop their relationship before Carmy got too in his head about it. I mean, the man was having a panic attack about being a bad boyfriend when Claire hadn't even really taken up that much of his time. I'm going to segue into some of the mental health stuff, but Carmy and Claire have very similar schedules in that their careers take up 80 to 90% of their time. Claire is an ER doctor who will constantly be rung to be on call, and she has limited time. And the same goes for Carmy, the full-time owner of a brand new restaurant. I think the biggest issue is that Carmy anticipated his failure before it had ever happened, and as a result, he hurt the person he cared about. Despite the fact that I don't really think they were meant to be, that doesn't deny the fact that he cared about her. And I'm going to sound stuffy, but I want to quote Henry David Thoreau. "We are determined to be starved before we are hungry." And I think that this quote perfectly encapsulates the mindset that Carmy takes on when he's in his deepest bouts of anxiety. Carmy is determined to remove everything from his life before it even had the chance to become something, before it even blossomed. I keep coming back to the scenes from season 3 or 2 where Sugar talks about Carmy not calling him after their brother died.
I guess all the time I feel like I'm kind of trapped. Because I can't describe how I'm feeling. So to ask somebody else how they're feeling, that just seems, I don't know, insane.
How she only really came into his life when he needed help with the restaurant. How Carmy isolates himself and only lets others in when practical or necessary.
Noticed? I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on?
Number 4, she doesn't fit into the kitchen. Okay, so essentially this last talking point is about the fact that Claire doesn't fit into Carmy's life as a chef. And I know what you're thinking. That literally contradicts the point you made earlier about how Carmy's self-sabotaged and easily could have dated Claire while being a chef since they both have busy schedules, but let me just explain. So essentially what I'm going to be talking about is that Claire doesn't fit into Carmy's life in context with how he operates as a person, not in general. So let's get the basics down. Number 1, Claire is not a chef. Number 2, Claire doesn't work at the Bear. That's literally it. That's all it takes to not be able to date Carmen Brizzato. With the way his mind works and his concerning obsession with work, he doesn't have the brain capacity to date anyone who isn't already with him on the 9 to 5. Hence why Sydney is the obvious choice. The thing with Carmen's brain is that I figure he's utilizing the restaurant as a means of coping with his brother's death. When his brother was still alive, he nearly cut him out of his life. Carmy doubled down on work and distance from his family to save himself the pain of that abandonment. And when his older brother abandons him in finality, In death, Carmy doubles down again by dedicating his life to the success of his brother's restaurant. This is why Carmy is so limited. This is why he doesn't have space for anyone. And anybody who watched the show and thinks that Carmy is getting help because he goes to Al-Anon meetings is crazy. Group therapy is very beneficial, but with the amount of family trauma and probably clinical anxiety that Carmy has, he needs to go to an actual therapist one-on-one. Carmy needs a professional psychiatrist/therapist in order to really heal and become healthy. And then he can be with any girl he wants, but preferably Sydney. Bye-bye, Claire.
I'm Sydney. I called about the supposition. I'm massaging today.
Right. Shit, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Carmy, here, you give me your...
yes.
Thank you. Linear smoke vac. That's some serious heat. What's UPS? That's in Chicago?
United Parcel Service.
I'm talking most anticipated drops off white low dunks, Louis Vuitton Supreme trunks.